for my country and we're better for it. What does that say about the person? I mean, does anybody actually go in the military to just be like, oh, I was in the military, I got a couple of medals, I'm a badass? No, you do it because you have a sense of loyalty or devotion to your country, and you just do it. You don't do it out of obligation.
Actually,
or something.
I do know a few people who would probably pull that. I think I do know a few people who would actually try to pull that. Just go in, get us some medals, and hey, I'm a badass. No, you're an idiot.
I'm a badass, and I don't have a medal.
I just think it's sad because, I mean, especially the way when you come back, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, oh, I was in the military, so, like, I'm going to come back now from this war, and I'm going to be this hero. I'm going to be highly revered. Everybody's going to love me. No, they're going to fucking spit on you, and they're going to take away your rights, and they're going to be like, oh, God, you didn't die. We have to actually take care of you now? Oh, geez, that sucks. I mean, it's just, it's really horrible.
Like my story.
Well, I mean, the people that we should really be like, oh, my God, you guys are honest-to-God heroes, we kind of
ignore,
dismiss.
We dismiss.
But then, the Kardashians, who the fuck cares about anything to do with a celebrity family? But everybody seems to have everybody seems to have their mindset.
No, I'm sorry, I was looking at a funny meme.
Oh. I mean, everybody seems to have their mindset on...
Well, share with the rest of us.
Ridiculous stuff, and it's like, who cares? They're not helping to make society better. They're helping dumb down America, which I guess to some people is actually a benefit.
So here's the funny meme, as an aside, that my mom just shared 5 minutes ago.
Oh, shit.
I don't run, so if you ever see me running, you better run too, because there's something coming. That's kind of like pipe fitters.
That reminds me of Intel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if I see my mom running, I'm getting the fuck out the way because I know something bad's probably following her, which could be my brother or my sister, but that's just messed up. Oh man,
that's a visual for you.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got about 13 minutes left. And if you take into our show closing, we got about 10 minutes left to discuss anything in the future we should be paying attention to. Like the price of tea in China. I don't know.
Earbuds you could wear underwater.
Oh, is that cool? Or what?
It is. I need to fucking find that email.
We're going to continue in the future about our tech talk. So any of you listeners that have interesting tech talk conversations about new technology, apps, phone apps, or whatever, feel free to email those to hosts@provoicesaz.com. If you have any ideas on topics to discuss on the show, regardless of whether you think we will agree or disagree, we're all about actually allowing people to have their voice heard regardless of whether we agree or disagree, as long as it's respectful. If it's not respectful, then we make fun of you and hang up on you and stuff like that. But for the most part, we'll listen to you and try to take an open mind about it, because realistically, we need to all have an open mind if we're actually going to fix the problems we have in our country, which is one of the things we hope to work on over the next, 6, 8 months, years, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Well, that's not funny. Well, let's look at that. For those of you that pay attention to scientific discoveries, we have discovered Earth-like planets outside of our solar system. So we do have some place that we can go once we destroy all the resources of our current planet. It'll take us 40 light years to get there, but still, we'll have some place to go. So those of you that are just destroying our country and destroying our environment, remember, there's some place to go eventually. None of us will live long enough to get there, but we'll still get.
So destroy yourself first and let us actually have some fun.
Yeah. What other things do we have fun to talk about? Oh, Sasha wants to chip in.
I really am so
She's
upset that
there.
I can't find that email. You saw that email.
I saw the email.
But then I opened it. And
I don't know what you do with it. I'm assuming that it's lost with Sockland, with all the single socks that go missing out of the dryer.
The dryer eats them.
Yeah, well, it goes to sockland. It's an invisible area around the planet where all the single socks fly around the planet and circulate the globe. What else do we have? Anything from your end, Carolyn?
Yeah, I was going to say something, and then I got distracted, and now I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I'll just interrupt somebody when it comes back to me if the show hasn't ended.
I'll just be rude and I'll interrupt your
Sorry.
ass. That's what I just heard.
You know, that's why I forgot my thought. I'm like, oh, I should tell them this. And then, oh, I know what it was. I wish I could. I'm terrible at remembering names, but I'll listen to podcasts. And, well, right now I'm not listening to them so much because when I'm working, I've been listening to committee hearings instead. And, but I did have time to listen to this one interview on NPR. I can't remember her name, but basically she's from Pennsylvania. Her dad was a coal miner. She went off to school and got a degree in, she's a scientist of some kind. I can't remember, but she went back and her dad, who's voted for Trump and is like, doesn't believe in global warming and everything. She sat down with him and she talked about, you know, she explained to him and patiently had a conversation with him, and he said to her, and oh, if no one's ever explained it to me like that. That makes sense. And so now she feels like, you know, it's so important that after she finishes her doctorate, she goes back and lives there and spreads information. And she's pointing out like the importance that we continue to talk to people who disagree with us, and even though it might be frustrating and it makes you angry because you're like, oh, you don't agree with me, but it's really important that we keep those conversations going in order to get people to understand and to see from our perspective that we don't shut them out and we don't, you know, we don't move to the nearest echo chamber. We keep fighting the good fight here in the red state. And I can't remember what you said that made me want to bring that up. It was only a few minutes ago, but yeah.
Well, it has to do with the fact that we need to, we really need to start listening to each other, even if we disagree. Because I think that we have become a society that basically ignores anything that we don't agree with. So we can't have logical, cooperative conversation anymore in our country because it's either my way or the highway. And until we get to the point where we can actually put aside the fact that we believe differently, come to a common ground, and come to a solution that benefits both sides or all sides, we're never going to be able to fix the problems in our country. And I think we as citizens of this country need to start focusing more on what's going to be better for all of us as opposed to what's going to be better for me.
Right.
That's the conversation that people need to start having and people need to start thinking about. Of course, I don't know how easy that's going to be because I think that people are too polarized thanks to the media. But it's an idea where we can hope that one day people will get back to the idea that interpersonal communication and talking to each other is going to be more important than listening to a broadcaster on Fox News or InfoWars or MSNBC or whatever, because regardless of where you're getting your news, there's always going to be some sort of a personal bias into the story. And until we actually stop listening to that and start listening to each other in our local communities so that we can understand that our neighbors may not be, even though I'm a liberal, I may not be the enemy that they say I am on the news. Or
just because somebody wears a sheet doesn't make them a terrorist.
A sheet?
A sheep.
I was just going to say a sheet is a sheet, like a toga party, right?
Yeah. I mean, just
yeah,
because
well, you're not a terrorist if you go to a toga party. That's for sure. Right? Toga.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the movies. I should just not speak.
That's funny. You're so cute.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the evening. Next weekend, we're going to hopefully have our first remote broadcast. We will be live from Usery Mountain Regional Park in Mesa, Arizona, if we can get cell signal enough to where we can pop a hotspot. If not, then you're not going to be able to listen to us because we're going to be drinking and making s'mores and eating beef. So, one way or another, we're going to be having a good time, whether it's on the air or not.
Whether
Yeah, we
you're
do
there
that
with
even
us
if
or
you
not.
do have the Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah, there is that. So, but we'll let you know. We'll post on our Facebook page whether or not we're actually be able to pick up a hotspot. Because if we do, we'll be on remote live broadcast from under the stars and having a good time. And if not, then we will be back the following week to discuss all the interesting screw-ups that have happened the past 2 weeks, which will be next week and the week after.
Regardless, we will actually post pictures and put them on our.
Yes, we will post
Pro Voices
pictures so you
page.
guys can see the broadcast remote and how much fun we're having and everything. So you can see that us liberals aren't really that bad of people because we enjoy some of the same things that you do.
Yeah,
know.
but science is scary. Don't talk about
I
science.
wasn't talking about science. I was talking about camping. There's no camping science thing, is there?
Stars and stuff. It gets all
Stars.
sciencey.
They go outside. They see lights in the sky. That's not science. It's just lights in the sky.
It's sciencey.
We
Yeah,
don't
it
do
is.
the science thing.
So, but anyway, thank you guys for being on the show tonight.
Thanks,
We
you
appreciate
guys.
it, Carolyn and Doug. For those of you that did not call in tonight, we hope that maybe next time you'll call in. We do like to have people call in and ask questions and make comments because that's how we have conversation and that's how we build rapport. So please check us out, www.provoicesaz.com. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook,
YouTube?
We're all over the place. So
Just type us into something. And
yeah,
you'll
just
find
type
us.
Progressive Voice of Arizona. You'll find us. The easiest way to listen to the broadcast is on demand is through the website, which is www.provoicesaz.com. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and call it a night. It is time to close the show. Appreciate it for all of you listeners out there. We could not do this without our fans. We appreciate your time and energy listening to us blab on, and we appreciate those people that chip in. When people like Carolyn force them on the phone. And
Yeah, feel free to call in and blab on.
So, good night, everybody. Have a
Night,
good weekend
everyone.
and have a safe week. You have been listening to Progressive Voices of Arizona, hosted by Scott and Kara Pryor. We hope that you will join us again next week as we try to bring some interesting and lively conversation to the airwaves. It is important that people start communicating, start talking, and start treating each other as individuals with dignity. Our show begins each week at 6 p.m. Arizona time. So come on out, join us, be a part of the conversation, and let's make America change to benefit us all.